Hello and welcome to the fourth part of our sixth module, where we today talk about green buildings and climate, responsive architecture, few forums like LEED, Griha, about passive solar designs, rooftop gardens, and energy efficient materials. So, first of all, why green buildings matter? And of course, I assume that now that we are at the end of this course, we have enough information and knowledge and awareness about why is something called green, even if it's a building, it's architecture, it's an urban plan. So buildings account for almost 40% of global energy use, whatever goes inside that building, whether it's a residential building, an office building, there's 40% of global energy use approximately globally, and 30% of approx emissions from the building again. Green buildings reduce this carbon footprint, operational costs, and enhance the health of the occupant. These green buildings also play a role in climate resilience and achieving sustainability goals. Now, to call a building green building wouldn't mean that we plant trees around it, we paint it green. No, it has to follow a certain benchmark, it has to follow a certain guidelines, and it has to get a certification for it to qualify as a green building, which is where LEED and Griha come in. So let's begin. Green Building Certification System. LEED, Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. International Benchmark for Sustainable Buildings. So LEED is the international standards for sustainable buildings, and a certification from the same would mean that the international standards of a sustainable building are met. Griha is an Indian national rating system, which means Green Rating for Integrated Habitat Assessment. When the requirements under Griha are met, which we shall be dealing forward as we move in this course, a certification from Griha would mean that you are a 5-star building under Griha. Not the luxury 5-star, but from Griha point of view, from the green building point of view. IGBC is Indian Green Building Council, which promotes environmentally responsible building practices. This is more like a administrative authority or a key functionary that is responsible for building practices around architecture that are more environmentally responsible. All these emphasize on energy saving, water efficiency, and reduced emissions. Like I said, that buildings account for most of the global energy use and emissions. So, of course, these councils and these parameters would be required to function in a way that the energy use is reduced, optimized, and the emissions are reduced. So, coming to our first parameter of LEED certified project in India. Now, what is LEED? The Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design is the world's most widely used green building certification system. It was developed by the United States Green Building Council. Like Griha is endemic to India, the LEED was developed by US but is recognized globally. It provides a framework for designing. So before you go out and make a building, you need to design the building, you need to construct the building, you need to then operate the building, and then once it's operating, you need to maintain that building. So all these practices of designing, construction, functioning, maintenance have to be environmentally responsible and resource efficient. What sort of buildings comes under LEED? Commercial buildings, residential homes, schools, neighborhood developments, and interior spaces, and even the communities. So LEED rating system is not only linked to commercial buildings, it also goes to the residential homes, schools, and interior spaces. The points that are awarded based on certain categories are location. It checks if you've not encroached on any green area and cut trees, or encroached upon a wetland, or obstructed the natural course of a water body. About transportation, about how the commute happens in and around the place, sustainable sites around it, water efficiency, how is that building governing water, the influx and efflux both, energy and atmosphere, indoor environmental quality, innovation, and regional priority. The importance of regional priority is paramount. Now, certified LEED projects in India that are certified by LEED are the Infinity Benchmark in Kolkata. It features rooftop gardens and it's an energy efficient system, and this is certified by LEED. The ITC Green Center near Gurgaon, it uses fly ash concrete. The construction material of fly ash is very environmental friendly. It has zero water discharge systems. This is very interesting. And if you happen to get the time, you must visit the site of ITC Green Center Gurgaon, where they have mentioned about this as well. The CII Sorabji Godrej Green Building in Hyderabad. Again, it's based on the utilization of solar energy and recycled materials and has terrace gardens. Next comes Griha. Now, before I tell you the examples that are there on your screen, let's study a bit about this green rated for integrated habitat assessment. This is India's national green building rating system. It's developed by TERI, the same company that gave the same institute rather that gave the green project report of 2047. So Griha is India's national green building rating system, which was developed by the Energy and Resources Institute, TERI, and it was endorsed by the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, the Government of India. So this Griha provides for, again, like LEED provides for a framework for assessing the environmental performance of a building. Similarly, in India, Griha is the one that monitors this from designing to construction to maintenance and functionality. The key objectives of Griha are, again, to reduce resource consumption, whether it's energy, water, or any natural resource, minimize waste generation, promote the use of renewable energy, and improve the health and well being of its occupants. It also aims to encourage sustainable site planning and habitat cultures. The rating criteria: Griha evaluates buildings based on multiple parameters, some of which include site planning. How have you planned the site? Have you preserved a tree that was standing? Have you planned your site accordingly? The construction management and construction material, the energy efficiency of that building, the water efficiency of that building, the management of waste, the occupant comfort and well being, and of course, because it's the time of technological advancements, how far have you used innovation and technology in it? So I think you all have heard about Aadhaar card. The Aadhaar is issued by UIDAI, the Unique Identification Authority of India. So why I tell it like that, so that it's for you to remember, because it can form a good fact to talk about or write about if you delve onto this project a little more. The UIDAI has its headquarters in New Delhi, and it's a commercial building, of course. It's rated a 5-star Griha because it achieved almost 62% reduction in the energy use compared to benchmark. How great is that? And then a few other examples on your screen. The Indira Paryavaran Bhavan, Delhi. It has a net zero. It's a net zero energy building. It uses geothermal cooling. There's no AC functioning there. It uses geothermal processes for cooling and solar PVs and daylighting. The Harida building at Panchkula has also recently, not recently, it's been a few years now, it has won the national competition for the green building. It is the first building in the region of Haryana to get a 5-star rating. It's also a net zero building, and a lot of energy efficient features will make this model a sustainable building. Again, if you feel like delving into this a little more, the website of Harida is there to apprise you of the other efficient features that make this office a model for sustainable building. Coming next to passive solar design principles. Passive solar design principles are again based on the very fundamental approach towards sustainability, that's optimum utilization. So the orientation is done in such a way to maximize the winter sun and minimize the summer heat. It makes obvious sense because in winters we hardly see the sun on foggy days. So the passive solar design principles suggest that the orientation of the panels should be in such a way which maximize the winter sun, and in summers when it's scorching heat, it minimizes the summer heat and produces solar energy regardless. Natural ventilation and airflow, again, a concept we studied earlier. Thermal mass, stone or concrete, and insulation for temperature control. Use of light shells in skylighting for daylighting. Now, in all these things that we have read about the parameters that LEED uses, about the parameters that Griha adopts, about passive solar design principles, the same thread that has been running across all of this is optimum utilization of whatever resource it is, whether renewable, non-renewable, whether it's something as simple as using the most of daylight and not using bulbs and lights and electricity when we can use natural lighting and we can have cross ventilation and natural airflow. So that's the key takeaway from this module about optimally utilizing and having innovations, having an innovative mind as to be optimally utilizing every resource that's available. Next is the rooftop garden and green roofs. Again, green buildings would definitely be incomplete without reducing the building heat and urban heat island effect. So these rooftop gardens and green roofs provide insulation and improve storm water management as well. And once we inculcate these green roofs and there's a proper insulation from the heat, there's improved stormwater management, it would automatically lead to using less air conditioners, which would ultimately again be optimum utilization. It also enhances biodiversity and aesthetic appeal. Now, if you were to have an aerial view of a place where, let's say, every house or every terrace or every building had rooftop gardens, it would be, of course, aesthetically appealing. And imagine the different kind of birds, the different kind of flora that would enhance the biodiversity any day. So, rooftop gardens are also often integrated with solar panels for added efficiency. This links to this because, again, to use the renewable sources of energy along with bringing more greenery is something that's a win-win situation. Now, while we are doing constructions or we're doing anything that involves a material to build something, sustainable materials are very important, and the term green architecture reflects the same. The use of recycled and reused materials like fly ash bricks. I mentioned about the Gurgaon office, which uses fly ash. Bamboo, again, a very nature friendly material. Compressed earth blocks, low VOC paints, locally sourced materials to reduce embodied energy, and focus on durability, recyclability, and indoor air quality. So, sustainable materials in buildings are equally important, not only for the environment, but also for us. Because if we use high VOC paints, they're going to affect our respiratory system as well. So, we need to focus on both the things, our health and the nature as well. A few examples of urban green building policies in Trivandrum, in where the rooftop solar and the energy audits and green public procurement was there. And there was a city-wide commitment towards climate resilient urban development. This could be a good case study ever if it intrigues you. And lastly, coming to the way forward and why the green buildings are important, because we're all aware about, I mean, it's no denial that the temperatures are rising, the ice caps are melting, the rivers are not flowing in their usual course, and forestation is being destroyed, the biodiversity is at its lowest. So, moving in a way that development and sustainability are married together is very important. So, green buildings are one such example which are critical to climate action, energy security, and public health. Other than that, certifications by these parameters are, of course, an ingenious way to promote green architecture. And nothing is better than a hyperlocal action in public private partnerships. With that, we finish this module number 6, which was about sustainability, about urban planning, about green building. And I hope if there's a budding architect amongst us, a budding administrator amongst us, we have all this information at the back of our mind. And whatever field you choose, be innovative, be eco friendly. Thank you.